there's a lot of reaction coming in from last night's drubbing, destruction, annihilation, cremation, whatever you want to call it, roasting, sauteed, whatever your form of cooking may be, and or fireworks, fire play, I don't know. But the Indiana Fever, as I did a video reaction last night right after the game, absolutely dismantled the Chicago Sky.
Chicago's United Center is buzzing. 19,496 fans, the biggest arena in the NBA, bathed in primetime lights for the first ever WNBA regular season broadcast on CBS. But the headliner everyone expected, Caitlin Clark, is in street clothes, nursing a quad strain. The stage is Angel Reese's to command. And that's exactly where the night unravels. Tickets that had flirted with NBA-level prices when Clark was presumed healthy cratered to a jaw-dropping $3 on resale sites once her scratch became official. Cheaper than a latte, cheaper than most high school games. Social media roasted the plunge, a viral Barstool tweet capturing the moment. That's why they're priced through the roof at $3 each. The narrative Chicago had spent months curating, Reese as a co-equal box office draw, met the hard math of the secondary market. Families who'd budgeted for nosebleeds suddenly discovered they could bring everyone, concessions included, for under $20. The story had flipped before a single warm-up jumper.
Last night was somewhat of a big moment for Angel Reese and the Chicago Bravado. For starters, the WNBA moved the game out of the local dump the Bravado usually play in and relocated to the United Center, which is the largest arena in the NBA, holding over 20,000 people. Now, to their credit, there seemed to be a good crowd in the United Center last night. I had someone who was at the game send me a few pictures, and most sections seemed to be filled. It wasn't a sellout, but there was supposedly over 19,000 people in attendance. Of course, it's easier to draw a decent crowd when tickets are selling for $3 hours before the game starts.
19,496 pairs of eyes don't just watch, they judge. Many in the lower bowl arrived over an hour early, smartphones trained on the tunnel, hoping Clark might surprise them and jog out in warm-ups. When it became clear she would not, a murmur rolled through the building, part disappointment, part curiosity. All right then, let's see what Angel's got. The United Center itself amplified the stakes. Banners for Michael Jordan's 6 titles hung above the court, silently reminding every athlete below what greatness looks like under hot lights. This was neither the cozy Wintrust Arena nor a Tuesday night local stream. It was national television, 4K cameras, and an arena whose rafters carry sound straight to the commentary headsets. In walk-ups, Reese flashed a cobalt trench coat, matching thigh-high boots and mirrored sunglasses, an outfit destined for Instagram carousels.
Oof, what an outfit Angel Reese was rocking. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making sure her ensemble was on point. Are my boots matching my jacket? Are my gloves matching my hat? Angel Reese put in tons of time for this outfit, which begs the question, does Angel Reese put in more time in her outfits for the pre-game catwalk, or does she put in more time to actually get better at the game of basketball?
Hidden beneath that flair, though, was the unspoken math of superstardom. Sold-out buildings are rented, not owned, and rent is due every possession. Indiana scored on its first 4 trips, 2 Mitchell floaters, a Boston elbow jumper, and a McDonald corner triple-off crisp inside-out action. Chicago's response was a pair of rushed mid-range looks by Marina Mabrey and a turnover when Reese shuffled her pivot foot while trying to seal Boston on the left block. From the broadcast-level camera, you could see frustration bloom. Reese clapped twice for an entry pass that never came, then sprinted back late in transition, arriving just in time to watch McDonald lay one in. By the 6-minute mark, Coach Tyler Marsh burned his first timeout. Already down 10-3, the decibel level feeling like a road game despite the Illinois zip code. A freeze frame told the early story. 5 Fever jerseys wide in a shell, 5 Sky players bunched within the paint like they were hiding from the perimeter. Indiana led by 8 after 10 minutes, but the more ominous stat was Chicago's lone assist. If the resale market reflected confidence, the play on court mirrored panic. Every sky touch felt hurried, as though the roster sensed 20,000 bargain hunters waiting for refunds. Reese tried to impose physically, planting her left shoulder into Boston. The Rookie of the Year met her chest-to-chest and forced a fadeaway airball. Next possession, Reese spun baseline but lost the handle. Boston scooped, outlet to Mitchell, 3 in transition, timeout Sky.
I have yet to see a single example of Angel Reese being a leader. Outside of rebounding her own missed layups, what does Angel Reese do? What is her contribution? You tell me, because I'm not seeing it. I know I'm harsh on Angel Reese, but she considers herself a star. If you're going to call yourself a star, I expect you to perform like a star, especially in big moments. Caitlin Clark was injured. Angel Reese was the only star on the court last night, and for 27 minutes, she completely disappeared.
Camera cuts caught Reese jawing at officials, at teammates, then at herself. Haley Van Lith, normally poise personified, overpenetrated twice and got stripped. The lead ballooned to 15. More troubling than the score were the optics. Indiana's bench rose in unison for every defensive stop, while Chicago's reserve sat frozen, towels over knees, eyes locked on the scoreboard as if expecting it to shrink on its own. By halftime, Chicago trailed 42-27. They shot 32% overall, 1 of 9 from deep, and logged more turnovers, 10, than assists, 4. Reese's personal line: 1 for 4 field goals, 2 fouls, 3 rebounds, -14.
Caitlin Clark is averaging more assists per game than Angel Reese is averaging points per game this season. Yeah. 9.3 points per assist per game, 9.3 assists per game. Let me just bring it up to 9.1 points per game.
Across the floor, Kelsey Mitchell quietly stitched together a masterclass in pace. 7 first-half points, no turnovers, 3 dimes, and a gravity that bent every Chicago rotation a half step late. Aaliyah Boston had 8 points on 4 shots, plus 2 hockey assists, created simply by double teams she drew on the catch. The analytical dagger. At the break, Indiana had posted a 68% assist percentage, 17 assists on 25 makes, while the Sky languished below 40. Ball finds energy, energy found the fever. Ari McDonald's journey reads like basketball's version of a campfire story. Signed on a hardship waiver when Indiana dipped under 10 healthy bodies, she spent Wednesday studying a PDF of the playbook on the flight to Chicago. By Saturday, she looked like the fastest player in the league. Mid-third quarter, she ripped Mabry at half court, pushed the break solo, Euro step between 2 defenders, and finished lefty as the crowd collectively gasped. On the ensuing Sky inbounds, she gambled again. Poke loose, dive on the floor, call timeout while seated like an elementary school show and tell. Teammates mobbed her as the TV truck cut to highlight reel after highlight reel. She finished with 12 points, 4 steals, and 3 triples, but her imprint exceeded the box score. Momentum swings, bench eruptions, and the type of intangible spark coaches describe as contagious. Not bad for a player whose locker nameplate was printed that morning.
No Caitlin Clark, no problem. No Sophie Cunningham, no problem. No head coach Stephanie White, have no fear. The final boss, Austin Kelly, is here. The Chicago Sky, we came into your building and we just, from pillar to post, smacked you guys around.
Austin Kelly, elevated from lead assistant, wore a charcoal suit and a calm grin, the anticlimax to Chicago's chaos. In huddles, he repeated one mantra: first to the floor, first on the board. His trust ran so deep, he opened the fourth quarter with reserve Lexi Hull shadowing Van Lith full court, conceding nothing. Hull responded by racking up 3 deflections in 90 seconds. Kelly's rotation never shrank. 10 players logged 8 minutes or more. None exceeded 29. By spreading the workload, he kept a frenetic pace others couldn't match, culminating in a 14-2 burst that put the game well beyond reach. The win counted only once in the standings, but sent a broader message. Indiana's identity is cultural, not conditional.
Folks, there were people in the crowd getting there early saying, "Hey, Caitlin, can you sign my jersey? Hey, Aaliyah, can you sign my shirt? Hey, Sophie, can you sign my picture?" There were people asking for autographs in the Chicago Sky crowd that weren't even born yet the last time the Chicago Sky scored this little amount of points. There were people in the crowd who weren't even a thought in their parents' mind at the time that the Chicago Sky last scored at least 52 points, the lowest point total since 2011.
On opening weekend, these same teams met in Indianapolis. The final that night, 93-58 Fever. Reese fouled out in 22 minutes. Clark tallied a 12-10-8 near triple-double amid shoulder bumps and highlight stepbacks. At the time, pundits labeled it rookie turbulence. Now, after a second rout, this one absent Clark, the narrative shifts from turbulence to trend. Combined scores, and Chicago is minus 62 against Indiana, with Reese scraping 11 total points on 13% shooting across the two encounters. One game you dismiss as anomaly, 2 games you call growing pains, a 60-point hole you call a matchup problem. Sports romanticize rivalry, but economics audit it. Endorsements, ratings, attendance, they're empirical. Reese commands millions of social followers, stacks NIL deals, and exudes pop culture charisma, yet stardom in team sports has a final arbiter, the scoreboard. When Clark sits and ticket demand evaporates, market forces render a verdict more piercing than any column. It's a lesson ripped from decades of precedent. Allen Iverson in 2001, Linsanity in 2012, Messi in MLS today. Names drive interest, but sustained greatness cements it. Reese's charisma is an accelerant. Without production, it can also be a magnifying glass held to every miss.
The eyes of the sports world were focused on Angel Reese in the WNBA, and Angel Reese once again proved why no one is watching her. Angel Reese once again proved she is nowhere near Caitlin Clark's level. Her performance was absolutely horrific.
Tyler Marsh faces a fork in the season road. His offense is built on second-chance points, lead the league in offensive rebound rate, push pace-off misses. But when your centerpiece converts 2 of 7 and gathers 12 boards without kickouts, that advantage dissolves. There are tactical tweaks available. Stagger Reese with Mabry to ensure clearer post spacing, sprinkle in elbow handoffs to mask her limited face-up game, and emphasize short roll passing to punish double teams. Yet the bigger fix is developmental. Footwork clinics, a reliable 15-footer, improved left-hand timing. The schedule is unforgiving. Seattle, New York, then a 4-game road swing. Hang around .500 and Chicago stays in the playoff race. Slip further and the noise grows deafening. Indiana's front office envisioned 2025 contention. They may be a year early. The Fever now sit 500 despite losing Clark for nearly 2 weeks and Cunningham for 3 games. Boston's sophomore leap is real. Her per 36 numbers, 18-11-4 on 58%, mirror Tim Duncan's second season. Defensively, they've climbed to 4th in defensive rating by trapping conservatively and cleaning glass. Boston, Howard, and reserve Teamy Fagbenley box out so well that guards leak ahead, fueling transition. Add the league-leading 9.3 assists Clark supplies, and you're staring at a team whose floor could be the conference finals. Quad strains carry the infamous field test timetable, rehab, until explosive moves feel normal. June 9th is the scheduled reevaluation. Whispered optimism points to a June 11th return versus Atlanta. The medical staff's caution reflects bigger picture math. Squeeze 36 games into 15 weeks. Load manage the engine that powers TV ratings, and peak for August. Players describe Clark's value in 2 currencies, playmaking and gravity. She routinely adds 10 points of spacing value without touching the ball, forcing hedges that free Boston dives and Howard pick and pops. Insert that geometry back into Saturday's 27-point margin, and the mind does playful math. Was this actually a 40-point gap disguised by circumstance? Every generation craves a bird magic analog, but rivalry math demands parity. Scoreboard seesaws, last-second daggers, playoff stakes. At present, the numbers read Indiana 2, Chicago 0, point differential plus 62. Cultural discourse may still frame Clark and Reese as foils, yet between the lines it's more mentor-apprentice than duel of equals. That can change quickly. Reese is 23, 8 games into her pro career, armed with elite rebounding instincts and a motor coaches salivate over. If skill development catches up, she becomes a nightly 15-15 threat. Until then, highlight packages will splice her pre-game runway struts next to Clark's logo threes, and the split screen will feel unfair.
But unfortunately, Angel Reese brought her outfit and left her game at home. She brought the nice hat, she brought the nice boots, she brought the nice jacket, she brought the nice gloves, but unfortunately, she left her game at home. 4 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists in 27 minutes of action, a minus 23 turnovers as the Chicago Sky, without Caitlin Clark, without Sophie Cunningham, without Stephanie White.
Saturday night doubled as a mirror. For Reese, a reflection of gaps to close. For Indiana, a glimpse of realized potential. For the league, a reminder that marketing booms when merit and mystique align. Star power isn't a crown you wear once. It's a mortgage you repay every possession. Ticket prices, TV ratings, social media traction. All balloon when credibility meets charisma. Chicago will get more cracks. The schedule, like redemption, is relentless. And if Clark's quad test turns green, the next chapter could flip the script or widen the gap further. Either outcome is good for women's basketball. Stakes breed storylines, and storylines draw eyeballs. The United Center crowd that filed out Saturday may talk about $3 tickets, but they also watch the Fever move like a contender, and the Sky confront hard truths. Somewhere in that intersection of spectacle and substance lies the sport's future, and its newest, still unwritten classic.